What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Strangest Minds. I'm Fernando, and today we're going to check out a content creator that I haven't reacted to in such a long time, and I miss him. I miss him. Sir Spooks with his video 11 scary videos that will keep you up at night. So, without any further ado, let's see what Sir Spooks has in store for us today. Let's go.
Hello everyone, my name is SirSpooks and today we'll take a look at 11 scary videos. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more scary content. Alright, with that said, let's begin. The first video we'll be looking at was posted to TikTok by a user known as Globalist Slayer USA on February 1st, 2026. And shows a strange moment captured on a home security camera late at night. The footage shows a quiet backyard covered in snow. Right from the start, you can already see a series of footprints scattered across the ground. But then, something even stranger happens.
What?
As the video continues, a new set of footprints begins to appear, forming one after another, as if something invisible is actively walking through the yard. What makes it even more unusual is the spacing. These newer prints have a much wider gait, suggesting something significantly larger than a normal person. It's a subtle detail, but once you notice it, it completely changes how the clip feels. The uploader even used the hashtag Bigfoot, suggesting they believe these tracks could belong to something far from ordinary. For those who believe, this could point to something unseen physically moving through the environment, leaving behind tracks without ever being visible. Another possibility is that whatever is making the footprints simply isn't being picked up properly by the camera, blending into the background due to lighting or recording limitations. It could also be the result of editing, with the footprints added in afterward to create the illusion. It's the progression that stands out the most, not just the footprints themselves, but the fact that new ones appear, as if something is actively moving through the yard in real time.
All right. I mean, that was that was very interesting. But let's go back a little bit. All right. So we could already take out of view that these footsteps right over here are not human. I do not think so because a person is not going to walk in a straight line unless you are a runway model, right? These footsteps, yeah, they are extremely spread apart, but we cannot go with size. I mean, I definitely wouldn't say that was a Bigfoot, because let's just say that could be a regular size foot compared to these. Because let's just say, right? What kind of animal big enough? Because this is not a squirrel, right? This is not a dog, a cat. They're just too big to be those type of animals. But what if it was a deer, right? In a way, but would a deer leave these kind of, I'm not a professional, I cannot track animal footprints if I was to survive in the woods. But would this be some type of that kind of animal? Because what could leave a almost damn near perfect straight line, right? Now these, yeah, how Sir Spook said, could it be that it was edited in? Of course. But let's just say, benefit of the doubt, that it wasn't, and he is recording off his security camera. Okay, so what entity is big enough to leave something like this? First and foremost, we would have to um, basically do some research of the area, like what's going on this piece of land, because there are entities tall enough, like the tall shadow guy, right? Obviously, we didn't see the shadow guy, but what about the slender man, right? He's pretty tall. I'm pretty sure he could walk like Jack Snow from the Nightmare Before Christmas, like, all widespread. But yeah, yeah. Regardless, just thinking about the facts, just for a second, if this is real, you would have freaked out looking at this video. 100%. So with that being said, you guys, what do you guys think? Leave it in the comments.
Real time. Imagine coming home after a long day, pulling into your driveway and noticing something across the street that immediately makes you stop and stare. That's exactly what happened to this woman, as shown in a TikTok video posted by user Little Miss Bella 3. The clip begins with her pulling into her driveway and stepping out of her car. As she locks the door, something catches her attention across the street, and she just stands there watching.
What in the world are we watching?
On the other side of the road, a person wearing what appears to be a headlamp can be seen moving around on all fours. Their movements are erratic and unnatural, almost animal-like, as they crawl and shift positions in a way that's difficult to make sense of. They continue behaving strangely for several moments, never acknowledging the person filming. At first glance, the way this figure moves feels deeply unsettling, like something pretending to be a human, but not quite getting it right. It could also just be a person acting oddly, possibly under the influence or simply behaving in a way that doesn't make much sense from the outside. But it's the unpredictability that makes this clip stick. There's no context or no explanation, just someone moving in a way you don't expect to see.
I'm still confused because a person with a headlamp. Okay, yeah, we know there are people with issues, but was it the lady coming out the car, or was it the person with the headlamp that said hello? And it was weird. I mean, I feel personally that the lady was a little bit the lady coming out of the car, is it me, or was she a little bit too calm to see something erratic happening right in front of her? That is crazy. That's wild. Like the way it was moving due to the blurriness and the pixelation of the video, it almost looks like an animal that stood up and then came back down. Like, geez, I don't even know, you guys. What do you guys think? Yeah. So far, so good. I haven't seen none of these two videos. Let's go.
A large number of children grow up with imaginary friends. It's a normal part of childhood and most parents don't think much of it. But sometimes, things don't stay so innocent. This TikTok video was posted on January 27th, 2026 by a man named Nicholas Faria. In it, he approaches his young daughter who appears to be talking to someone who isn't there. At first, it seems like a harmless moment. Then this happens.
Decile que traiga el coche, decile. Le dice que traiga el coche. No.
The girl begins calling out to her imaginary friend, asking it to push the stroller sitting nearby on the sidewalk. And just seconds later, the stroller starts moving. There's no one visible touching it. It simply begins rolling forward on its own as if something responded to her request. Moments like this are often interpreted as a child interacting with something unseen. The idea that imaginary friends might not always be imaginary. At the same time, there could be a simpler explanation. The stroller may have been on a slight incline, causing it to roll naturally, or it could have been nudged just out of frame. It's also possible the scene was staged to line up with what the girl was saying. What makes the clip stand out is the timing. She asks, and almost immediately, something happens.
My first thought, because when the guy was recording, you could hear the wind. Fine, but that would be an extreme case of coincidental event. I mean, could it be pulled? I have to question that also. You guys want to know why? Because it could have easily been a slow slant plus wind that would push the stroller down the street until it hit the first side of the bump, like right next to the wall. Because if you guys noticed, the stroller hit the edge or the rocky area of the wall before it was moved more, and then it hit the wall. Yes, the video is very pixelated. Could it be pulled with a string? Yes, all the way up to the first part. Because that string, how easy, how thin it is, I don't think that physics will determine whether or not this string could push that stroller further. And it's definitely the same thing with wind. It's not going to push it like this. Am I saying that it's a imaginary friend? I don't know, you guys. This one's pretty good. And just in case if you guys are hearing some banging or anything going on, because I feel like my house is shaking right now, it is because they're doing construction work basically on the other side of my fence. So, but yeah, this one is leaving me a little bit baffled. So, once again, what do you guys think?
Over on TikTok, a woman known as Cat Snap posted a video explaining a strange and unsettling situation happening near her home. She says she lives by a river in an area with no lights at night, making it especially dark and quiet once the sun goes down. But according to her, that silence has been broken more than once. She then asks viewers to listen closely.
So just listen for a moment, okay? And tell me that you would not be freaked out by this.
From somewhere across the river, a series of loud, eerie singing and chanting sounds can be heard echoing through the darkness. The voices don't sound close, but they're clear enough to feel uncomfortably present. It's the kind of noise that doesn't immediately make sense, rhythmic, almost coordinated, and completely out of place in such an isolated area. What makes this even stranger is that this wasn't a one-time occurrence. In the description, she explains that this is the third time in 2 years that she's heard these sounds near her property. In a follow-up video, she responds to someone suggesting it might just be people nearby. She acknowledges that others do live along the river in California, but insists that whoever is making the noise is doing so late at night, and for reasons she can't explain. The whole situation gives the impression of something happening just out of sight, close enough to hear, but far enough to remain hidden. Of course, there could be a more ordinary explanation. The voices may simply be coming from people gathered somewhere along the riverbank, with sound carrying unusually well over the water at night. But even with that in mind, hearing distant chanting echo through a dark, unlit area like that is the kind of thing that's hard to ignore once you've experienced it.
Hey, not for nothing, but Sir Spooks is on point, bro. Sir Spooks is on point. Like he's not these other content creators that wants to, make a video seem more than what it is by saying certain things like, "Oh, this was a real ghost singing right in front of her face. America's Got Talent," right? So, yes, we clearly could hear that song. There, might I add that I wouldn't say eerie due to the situation that it was in the nighttime. But is it me or did like the woman humming was soothing? So it makes me question if it is an entity, from what point in this world was it from? Could have been an Indian chant. Do you guys see where I'm going with this? It's right next to the water. So there's a stream, a riverbank. It is known that wildlife, even, life, period, goes to where there is water. So who's not to say this was an area that was a native Indian location? Right? But that's just me thinking outside the box because I am a paranormal investigator and I like history, and all of this stuff is super interesting to me. Even though I do like, if a video is BS, I'm gonna call it. And if a video could have had a better way of, showing us that they're experiencing real paranormal activity, I'll say it. For example, with this specific video, if you know that this happens sometimes, I want to prove it because the idea is to put it out there in the ether for us to see. I would have had a flashlight and start showing, because who's not to say that she's showing us where she was recording from with the chant? There's a big difference. I wish she had a flashlight, show us a little bit better. But hey, interesting, yes it is.
A woman named Sarah Serendipity posted a video to her TikTok account on March 12, 2026, describing a moment that left her deeply unsettled. According to Sarah, she had a strong feeling that she was being watched one night. Unable to shake the feeling, she decided to pull out her phone and start recording, just in case. It didn't take long for that feeling to be validated.
What the f is that? What the f is that?
Ugh, that's creepy, dude. Do you see the fingers?
What the f? What the f is that? It looks like a hand. A freaking face. Like two hands and a face. What the f is this?
As you can see, what appear to be handprints and even a face impression suddenly become visible on the window. The marks look pressed into the glass as if something was right there, watching from the other side. The detail is what makes it so disturbing. It doesn't just look random, it resembles something with form, something close. It's easy to interpret this as an unseen presence revealing itself in a physical way, leaving behind traces of where it had been standing. At the same time, there could be a more ordinary explanation. Residue, condensation, or oils on the glass can sometimes reveal prints that were invisible before, especially with changes in temperature or lighting. Even so, the timing is what makes this moment stand out. Feeling like you're being watched and then seeing something appear that seems to confirm it is the kind of experience that lingers long after the moment passes.
All right, I mean, the sense of being watched is one thing, right? But we were hearing knocking in the very beginning, as though like someone was knocking on the glass door, on the glass frame. So I thought her attention was pulled towards that direction due to the knocking. Then she grabbed the phone and started recording. That would make more sense. But houses like this, Like, I don't know. I feel like there's other videos that might be capturing a certain moments because houses like this, I mean, it, I live in Florida right now and we have cameras on each corner of the house capturing whatever for security purposes. You're telling me there's no camera outside of your house, lady? Because that would have been more interesting to see than you recording it from your phone. But having both videos coincide with one another, that is the money shot right there. So yeah, those that handprint, the face, it's kind of weird. It's like, if as though the person, the whatever did that, right? It could have been a regular an, another person was literally like breathing onto the glass. That is strange. Unless it was orchestrated. So, hey, but you know what? Awesome video nonetheless. Let's go to the next.
In March of 2013, a YouTuber known as Dan82ify uploaded a video describing a disturbing experience that had just happened moments earlier. According to Dan, he had just woken up and gone downstairs, only to find that all of his kitchen cabinets were wide open. He insists they were closed when he went to bed the night before, which immediately left him feeling uneasy. Concerned, he grabs his camera and begins recording. We then follow him into the kitchen as he starts closing each cabinet one by one, trying to make sense of what's going on. Everything seems calm for a moment, until this happens.
I'm really, really scared right now. Just want to shut all these.
I mean, it seems like a normal thing for poltergeist activity to mess with kitchen cabinets.
Get it on camera so if something happens, at least it's documented. Alright. I think I'm just gonna go downstairs and chill out and edit for a little while. Oh shit! Oh, fuck me. I gotta upload this. Before anything happens. Nobody gets to see this. Ow. I think I broke my ankle.
Out of nowhere, a glass suddenly falls and shatters on the floor, causing Dan to jump in shock.
Damn.
And just seconds later, another one falls, breaking apart just the same. The reaction is immediate. Panicked, Dan turns and runs, desperate to get away from whatever might be causing it. In his rush, he ends up falling down the stairs, later claiming it twisted his ankle trying to escape. The sequence of events feels sudden and chaotic, like something escalated without warning. To some, this looks like classic poltergeist activity, with objects being moved or thrown by an unseen force. It's also possible the entire scenario was staged for the video. What makes this clip linger is how quickly things spiral. It starts with something small and unsettling, and within seconds, it turns into something much harder to ignore.
Here are my red flags. The second he said the word, I'm going to go downstairs to do some editing, you already know, there's a good possibility that whatever he puts out there is edited. And it was all good. Even after he said editing and he turned his camera around away from the kitchen, even it was all good after that. But it seemed like his voice kind of changed into he started to act out. I mean, as soon as I get a red flag, you guys, I don't care how small it is, or even if it's not even a red flag to you, but once I myself get a red flag, I need to scrap the whole video and think that it's fake because a lot of people are out there using the paranormal field to make a quick buck by going viral. So with that being said, let's go to the next.
Over on the interdimensional NHI subreddit, a user known as FVMK3 shared a video filmed in Cambridge, UK back in 2014. In the clip, Someone is simply recording the night sky above the city. Nothing unusual at first, but after a few seconds, something appears that quickly changes the tone of the footage.
Oh! What is it? Huh?
Three bright orbs can be seen moving together in a tight formation. They glide smoothly across the sky before suddenly accelerating at a speed that's difficult to track, and then, just like that, they vanish. The coordination between the three objects is what stands out. They don't drift randomly, they move together almost as if they are connected or following the same path with precision. Moments like this often get linked to reports of orb-shaped UAP, especially when multiple objects are seen moving in formation. At the same time, it's hard to say exactly what's being captured here. Without more context, it could be something more conventional that simply appears unusual from a distance. Interestingly, the footage was even featured in a Netflix documentary involving George Knapp called Investigation Alien, which is only added to the discussion around it. Clips like this tend to stick with people, not just because of what's seen, but because of how clean and coordinated it all looks before it's suddenly gone.
I must say, the video, interesting. Never seen it. Just in case you guys, I have a new playlist: UFO and aliens classified sighting, classified UFO and alien sightings. Um, I was just really hoping to see how did the orbs, I'm not gonna say overlap, but if it would have gone through the trees. If you notice, there was three orbs and it just went down the same clear path, even with the leaves of the trees above hand, like they had possibly like 2 feet, right? I wanted to see how those orbs looked because, yeah, this could have been edited in, and it looks bad if they had one of the orbs flying through the tree. That would be very difficult to do. But it was just a clear path through the trees. I would have loved to see this video with those orbs at least going through one of the branches. But anyway, hey, it's interesting.
Millions of children around the world love Peppa Pig. It's a harmless, cheerful character, the kind of thing you'd never expect to be involved in anything unsettling.
Yeah.
But after this moment, that might change. This video posted to TikTok by Iconic Hannah shows her child's Peppa Pig plush lying on its side on a bed. At first, there's absolutely nothing unusual about it, just a normal toy sitting still, until you look a little closer. If you focus on the face, you can see it. The eyes move. It's subtle but noticeable enough to feel completely wrong. The toy itself doesn't shift, just the eyes, as if something inside briefly adjusted them. Naturally, this raises a lot of questions. The uploader later cut open the plush to check if there was anything inside that could explain it, but found nothing. Just stuffing like any other toy. To some, this feels like something unnatural briefly revealing itself through an everyday object. A more grounded explanation is that the movement was added in editing. Small, isolated changes like this can be created convincingly with simple video effects. What makes it unsettling is how minimal it is. No dramatic movement, just a slight shift in the eyes. Enough to make you pause and look twice.
What kind of content does she do normally? She has 13,000 subscribers. TikTok, I believe. I want to say is from TikTok. What kind of content she does. The fact that yeah, that could have been completely edited. Everything is basically still besides the slight movement of the eyeball. So yeah, that could have been edited in. But what would really I would really like to know what kind of content she does. But anyway, hey, Peppa the Pig. Never liked him. Her, whatever.
A TikTok user known as El Morcillo posted a video in February of 2026 showing what starts off as a normal day at the playground with his young child. At first, it feels like a wholesome moment, just a parent spending time with their kid. But it quickly becomes clear that something isn't quite right. From the beginning, the uploader seems uneasy, as if he's already noticed something off in the area, which is likely why he started recording in the first place. And then, around the 1 minute mark, things start to get strange.
No, mi amor, no pasa nada, ven. No era nada, no era nada, ven. ¿Qué?
¿Qué es?
No sé, no, bro.
No creo que sea
Irga, mira, sí se miró. Sí se miró. Yo sí miré, alcancé a ver algo. Mira, ¿te checaste? ¿Viste?
In the background, near a tree, what looks like a shadowy figure can briefly be seen standing still. It's faint, but noticeable enough to stand out once you spot it. Then, not long after, something even more unsettling appears. A head seems to peek out from the side of the tree, just enough to be seen, before quickly pulling back, almost as if it's watching them. The timing and placement make it feel deliberate. In a follow-up video, the uploader goes back to the same location and shows the tree up close. And that's where things get even more confusing. The tree is far too thin for a person to realistically hide behind, especially in the way the figure appeared in the original clip. It gives the impression that whatever was peeking out shouldn't have been able to stay concealed there at all. To some, this feels like something observing from a distance, appearing just long enough to be noticed before disappearing again. The videos could also be staged, possibly using clever positioning or editing to create the illusion of something hiding behind the tree. But when you see something peek out and then realize there's nowhere for it to hide, it leaves behind a very specific kind of unease.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I am a little bit disappointed that when the guy went back to show us the exact location, I would have very much liked to see that black pole, the light pole, in that shot. Who's not to say it's the same? That is a different tree, right? And honestly, I don't know about you guys, but the way they all started screaming, running away, it didn't really seem authentic to me. I could be completely wrong, but yeah, all of that could have been easily staged. And due to the camera angle, maybe that tree is not a full circle thick kind of tree. Maybe it's a little bit from one point of view. It could be thinner than the regular view. But yeah, man, I would have loved to see that light post on there. But let's continue on.
Before we get started with this next video, some of you might recognize it. It was actually featured in one of my older videos many years ago, but since it's been so long, I wanted to take another look at it for those who are new to the channel, or for those who may never have seen it before. The clip was originally posted to YouTube by a channel known as Kilo Lu on December 4th, 2012. And it shows a group of friends exploring a long, dimly lit tunnel late at night. From the start, the atmosphere feels tense. One of the guys shines a flashlight down the tunnel, trying to see if anything is lurking in the distance. Eventually, they decide to move forward, slowly making their way deeper inside. Step by step, they continue through the darkness, growing more cautious as they go. And then, this happens. Out of nowhere, a strange figure suddenly charges toward them at full speed. The reaction is instant. The group turns and runs, clearly terrified by whatever just came rushing out of the darkness. The creature itself is hard to make out clearly. Its shape looks unusual, almost distorted, but the poor lighting makes it difficult to fully understand what we're seeing. To some people, this feels like a genuine unknown entity, something hiding deep within the tunnel, only revealing itself when the group got too close. Another explanation is that it could simply be a person, possibly positioned
Sorry. Hold on.
too close. Another explanation is that it could simply be a person.
Oh, nice. So, that's a hand. And honestly, here's my thing. Let's just say this is real. That guy wouldn't be coming out of that tunnel so fast. Because that thing right there got him. It got him. It got him. He wouldn't be coming out right behind the other guys.
Possibly positioned ahead of time, who ran toward them to create a scare. What makes this clip memorable is how quickly everything shifts. 1 second it's quiet exploration, and the next, pure panic.
Yeah, man. I mean, cool video. And if it was edited, I mean, due to the way this video looks, it must have been a long time ago. It would have been an awesome, like, plot for a horror flick. That's what I think this actually was. This be possibly an independent horror flick, maybe? I would like to know what's the source of it. I mean, I know that it was Kilulu whatever, but I would like to know a little bit more about this person, because the fact of the matter is it could have been independent film work, college video thing for points. They were young enough. But in all actuality, whatever came down popping already got the first guy, which came out way too soon. So yeah. Let's continue on.
On June 17th, 2021, a woman named Chriselle Luna uploaded a video to her YouTube channel showing herself exploring an old, allegedly haunted prison.
Ooh.
For the first several minutes, she moves through different hallways and rooms, investigating the building. Nothing particularly unusual happens at first, just the usual tension that comes with being alone in a place like that.
She's by herself.
But then, in one specific room, everything changes.
Yo quiero preguntar, y me estoy atreviendo a hacerlo estando sola en este lugar. ¡Ay! ¡Ay! Dios mío, yo vi algo que corrió. En este lugar.
If you look closely at the window, a dark figure suddenly flies past at incredible speed. It happens so quickly that it's easy to miss, but Chriselle notices it immediately, and her reaction says everything. Before she even has time to process what she just saw, something even more unsettling happens.
Hayan visto, yo les voy. ¡Ay! Ahí está corriendo algo. Voy a. Hayan visto, yo les voy. ¡Ay! Ahí está corriendo algo. Voy a mostrárselos. Se los voy a mostrar ya cuando haga la edición de este video, para ponerle un círculo y puedan apreciar lo que yo vi en mi cámara. Qué fuerte, qué fuerte, qué fuerte. No sé qué era, no sé si era la niña, no sé si era otra cosa, pero estoy segura que no era una persona porque no hay nadie aquí.
The figure comes back. This time it moves in the opposite direction, almost as if it's running across the same area again, deliberately making itself visible. The timing is what makes this moment stand out. It's not just a one-off glimpse. It happens twice in a way that feels almost intentional. To some, this looks like a shadowy entity lingering inside the prison, briefly revealing itself before disappearing again. Amazingly, Chriselle doesn't get frightened away from this entity entirely, as she proceeds to continue her investigation, but she is never able to find this entity again. Hopefully, Chriselle won't ever go back to this prison for another investigation again, because this entity may be waiting for her return.
All right. So my thing is, right, that is an awesome place to go investigate when, of course, you get permission to go in there because it is very difficult. Let me say here in the States to get permission to go into a shut down prison. I mean, dreams. But do I believe she was there by herself? With that video especially because here's the thing, that's a window, so you could see her reflection or at least the light source from her camera hitting the window. So something went, we all saw the shadow that could have been behind her, and the only time she showed behind her was when the shadow left. So who's not to say that was just an actual person? And they're trying to create a film. It seems like she has her own channel. She uploads videos about, the paranormal, and all of this could be orchestrated. But I do like the fact that this is a abandoned, well, not abandoned because there's still light. So, man, what is the name of this prison? That it's, basically not in service and it is still being maintained because not for nothing, that prison looked in pretty spiff conditions. Um, was it even actually a prison? We didn't really see cells. We saw bars, yeah, and chain link fences, but that could have been an insane asylum at the same time, also. So, yeah, a lot of questions. But let's let Sir Spooks do his ending.
And that was 11 scary videos. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, then subscribe for more scary content. My name is SirSpooks, and I'll see you all in the next video.
All right, you guys. So, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. And of course, if you are enjoying yourselves, please do what you do when you like a channel. Hit that like, share, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. And I'll catch you guys on the next. Peace.